We're live. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the inaugural stream of Dungeon, a 5th edition campaign. My name is Zac Goins. I co-run the Drifters Atlas stream with my good buddy Tom, who is noted as Player 5 over there in the corner.
Hello, guys.
Yes, and we stream Drifters Atlas Ascension World Building on Tuesdays and every once in a while on a weekend. But now we have a special treat for you guys every other Monday, starting right now at 9 p.m. Central. We will be streaming Dungeon. Dungeon is a dungeon crawl for 5th edition, right? 5th edition, in my opinion, is not an edition that likes really technical. I touch everything with the 10-foot pole. I push every button with Mage Hand. I look for traps on every 5-foot square. That's not really what 5th edition is about. 5th edition is about role-play dynamics more so. It's about combat that feels dynamic. And so this is a dungeon that is meant to do those things. So we're going to play through. This is something of my own design, and it's something that's going to be available later on in the year for purchase as an actual book. So you guys get to see this for live, and this is also considered a play test for the material. So we're really excited to get to do it. Let's go ahead and do some introductions, some real ones other than me. And we've got this handy little flowchart here, so let's start with it. Player 1 is Alex. Alex, tell the fine people of the internet everything about yourself.
Oh boy. There's not a. Oh man, I'm not good at this. There's not a whole lot to say. I mean, I do internet stuff like this. Oh yeah, I guess I'm Alex. I should probably start with that. This is my first time doing a stream, so you'll see me like this a lot, just kind of sitting here awkwardly.
Yes.
While my chest tightens and I'm like going, what, oh god, what am I doing?
The main thing is to make sure you always stay perfectly in frame. And just think about that the whole time.
Just think about it. I'll just stare at my picture for the next hour or so. In the frame.
Yeah.
I'm in the frame.
That's right.
Right, and that's my introduction.
Perfect. Kate, player 2.
My name is Kate. I hail from the state of Ohio, I'll say that much. I'm really excited about this. It's my first stream too, so others don't feel too awkward. There's always first time for everything.
That's right.
But I've been playing for consistently a little over a year, I'd say. And I mean, it's just always fun to meet a new group and try new things, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Lovely. Thank you, Kate.
Yeah.
Tyler, what you got for us?
Hey, I'm Tyler. I have been playing for years. It's been 6, 7 years now. I forget. I've been DMing for about 2 years now, I think. I have a home game I've been DMing for about 2 years. I've been DMing at conventions, and then with the pandemic, I've been DMing 3 online games a week. So I'm Dungeons & Dragons is my life right now, pretty much. I am I'm live in Indiana, and that's about it.
Lovely. Thank you. All right, Erica.
Yep, I'm Erica. I've been playing for, I think, 5 years about, and DMing for like 3 to 3.5. I currently have a 2-year-long campaign going online, and I play with a very awesome, very international group, so that's a very much ton of fun.
Love it. All right, Tom, finish this out.
Yeah, my name is Tom. I started the Drifters Atlas here with Zach a couple weeks ago because of quarantine more than anything. We are doing we're doing dungeon on Mondays. We're doing the Drifters Atlas world building on Tuesdays. We are working on some um, campaign modules and some like world building modules or world building adventure modules um, through the Drifters Atlas, and those will be out towards the end of the year. Just like Zach was saying, we just wanted to do something a little different here on the channel, and we're going to do a live play of Zach's product here. I'm super excited. I have also played for quite some time. I started in third edition, stopped for some time with college and things stopping things, and then picked back up with fifth edition. And I am also it is also my life during quarantine.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and say that I have been running games for about 8 years. I've been running convention play for 2 to 3 years, have several ongoing campaigns. So that's kind of my credentials as a dungeon master. Familiarity with 5th edition, 3.5, Pathfinder, Star Wars, Call of Cthulhu, a whole bunch of different systems. But I'm really excited to play Dungeon tonight. We've already kind of talked about them, but there's a couple little announcements that I want to put forth real quick. The first one is our world building stream. The next official time that it will go up is tomorrow night. It also goes live at 9 to 9:15 whenever we get all those bugs worked out that we talked about. This is Thomas and I and a guest typically building a world for us all to play in. This is a community-sponsored project. We love to have community input from chat. We bring guests on to have their input, and we're building something really fun, I think, there. And we're going to be releasing adventures and things for you to enjoy that world. Secondly, I'll go ahead and mention that Tom is going to be running an adventure on May the 5th at noon Central for Jasper's Game Day, which is a nonprofit charity that helps with teen suicide prevention. They're streaming, I believe, over 60 hours of D&D content on their channel right here on Twitch. And Thomas is going to be running some of that content for a couple hours. I'll get to play in that, which we're really excited about. If that's something that you would like to view or you would like to donate to, which we would certainly encourage, you can head on over to jaspersgameday.com and you can check out the whole event list, and there's also a link to their Discord channel right there on their Twitch stream right there on the site.
And Zach, after this episode airs on our Facebook, the Drifters Atlas, I'll put some links up to that content, and of course, going into next week, there'll be some links for that content.
Perfect. Yep. Other than that, if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy our stream, we always ask that you would give us a follow up at the top, and that would be lovely. I think those are our only 2 announcements, though, for tonight. So Thomas will probably give us a refresher at the end of this. Let me tell you guys, let me tell our viewers exactly how tonight's going to go. This session is a little bit different. This is our session 0. All of our players have already come up with character concepts. They basically know what they're going to be playing. They've picked a race, they've picked a class, they've picked a background, all those great things. But we're going to fill in the gaps. We're going to introduce those characters. We're going to find all those little nuggets that makes this game unique in session 0, or at least discover some of them. That will probably take the better part of an hour, I'm going to say. So if you really like character creation, this next hour is going to be right up your alley. After that, we'll take a little intermission, and then we will play the beginning section of the adventure. So let's meet some of our characters. Now, you'll see on our overlay right now that each one of us has the lovely Bite Size Gaming logo right underneath their video. That will change into their character portrait as soon as we know all these characters and we get the art for it, which will be next stream. And then their player 1 through player 5 text will be changed to their character name once we know exactly who they're going to be playing. We started with Alex last time, so let's start with Tom Um, let's start with Tom just for this first one. Tom, tell us a little bit about your character.
Yes, I will be playing Dwarf Know It All, Cornelius Emberkeg. Cornelius is a son of an adventuring pair, the Ebon Hawks. So the Ebon Hawks were a venturing party of 7 adventurers, and he is the son of two of the adventurers. A little bit of a know-it-all, a little bit of a eccentric dwarf.
Lovely. And help me remember, you're playing a wizard, right?
I am playing a wizard.
Lovely. Awesome. What is your background, Tom?
My background is something I like to call magically obsessed. So my background is actually the reason I am coming to
Well,
the
hang-
dungeon is not yet.
Not
Okay.
not not your
So my
motivation, but just your background. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, my background is a custom background, which is called magically obsessed. So I am looking to update my power, sort of get some, maybe find some items or find some learning that will help me become a better wizard.
Lovely. Now, you have not rolled stats yet, so you know pretty much everything that's going to be on your level 1 character, but we all get to learn how we're going to roll stats tonight, right now. And it's not going to be anything too shocking or surprising, hopefully. But what we're going to do is the 46 and drop the lowest. Once you
Okay.
roll all your stats, if you have one that you absolutely abhor, you can re-roll one stat, but you're going to roll it at 3d6, and you're going to take whatever roll you get, right? So if you have that 8 or that 6 or that 7 that you just absolutely can't stand, and you wanna go for broke and risk getting a 3, more power to you. I'll let it happen. So Tom, would you roll? You can do these rolls either in person, or if you have Roll20 up, you can definitely use that. We'll be using Roll20 for our regular dice rolling once the campaign starts. But for now, just roll me 4d6 and tell us what you get.
17,
17,
13,
13,
14.
14.
I'm liking this so far. Here comes the 6. 10,
10. All right.
Thomas,
19.
those totals are all 4
Oh,
dice. You're not
sorry, I
dropping
am.
one.
You are absolutely right.
Shame on you.
Still not terrible yet.
In a dream
in
world.
16. So let me tell you what they are with dropping them. It would be 6. It would be 14. Then it would be 12.
Mm-hmm.
11.
11.
9.
9.
15.
15.
And 14.
14. Way better than average. So I think
Yes.
you want to re-roll that 9, or are you happy with what you got?
I sort of want to reroll the 9 only because I'm hoping for a flaw.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I'm going to reroll that 9.
okay.
And hope for it worse, actually.
The averages are with you.
And it's an 8.
An 8. Okay.
So not much better.
Okay. So that's Emberkeg, 14, 12, 11, 8, 15, and 14. And then you'll be adding your Dwarven stats on top of that.
Yes.
Sweet. Very cool. So I'll let you go ahead and start plugging that into your character, and we're going to move on to Erica here. So Erica, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so my character is Aelin Idlemist. She is a Shadow Elf or Shadar-kai blood hunter. She suffers from amnesia from the point that she was shifted to the material plane. She doesn't remember why she's here, but she knows she's from the Shadowfell. She had a mentor at some point that is no longer with her for a very dark and like horrific reasons as relate to like horror not necessarily like scary. Maybe it'll come up. Um, but right now she's just kind of on her own, trying to figure out why she's here, figure out her place in the grand scheme of the world.
Lovely. For those viewers at home who are unfamiliar with some of the more fringe aspects of some of these character races and classes, and don't feel put on the spot too much here, but what is your interpretation of a Shatter Kai?
Usually somewhat of like a servant type role. They have a purpose, and their shadow aspect of it just comes from their origination of a shadow realm where the shadow fell. Uh, there are some. I think the standard lore is that they are servants of the Raven Queen, but uh, maybe that's her purpose. She doesn't remember.
Exactly. Lovely. And then the Blood Hunter, most folks will know, but for those that don't, where does the Blood Hunter class come from?
That is a homebrew creation by the famed DM Matthew Mercer. It's based off of the Witcher series. How their main kind of um, like skill set and toolkit is using their own blood to empower their abilities.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Would you do us the honor of rolling Idle Mist's stats, please?
Yeah. I'll just. Those are all dropped. So 14, 13, 14, 9, 12, 15. I'm happy with that. I'll keep that 9.
All right. So 14. Go through it slowly for me if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
14, 13, 14,
Uh-huh.
9, 12, 15.
Lovely. Okay. Wow. Awesome. We're going to have a party of heroes here. Until we come to Tyler. Tyler. Tell us a little bit about your fellow.
Okay. So my character's name is Felix. And I wanted to get some input from the group here, and I'll explain to you why in a second on a last name there. But Felix is another custom race, custom class. Zac actually designed. So Felix is a Nephilim, and he is a Nephilim linguist. And linguist was a really cool class that kind of, I don't know, it picked my interest really fast because it was, it had some of the advantages of Warlock, which I really like, but then it had the feel of a Bard kind of support class, which is something I also play a lot. So I kind of want to try out that whole setup and see how that worked.
Lovely. Yep. Definitely playtest content. It has been playtested some already, but we're going to be discovering exactly how viable the linguist is throughout the course of the dungeon.
Indeed. The reason I said I needed I need some input, is because so the Nephilim is half celestial, half other. Your mother was at one point impregnated by a celestial, and so your last name is always related to who your celestial parent is. So my celestial parent is Moradin, but I couldn't think of a good play on Moradin for a last name, so I didn't know if I could workshop that with you guys and see if you guys could help me out with that one. But that's not something we have to like dwell on now. We can just work into it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Moradin is typically seen as a dwarven deity.
He is normally.
Is that something that you bring into your character's appearance, or are you more celestial?
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there because that's my that's Nephilim are generally raised within a culture, and because of my background, which is anthropologist, anthropologist has spent so much time with one race that they tend to take on a lot of traits of that race, and my character spent a lot of time with dwarves. So my character already was probably born around dwarves. Whether or not my character is half dwarf, I don't know. I'm still working through some of that stuff in my head. But my character is definitely has a lot of basis in dwarven culture.
Awesome. Sweet. Would you do us the honor of rolling your character stats?
Absolutely. So I just saw the command here. Okay, that's horrible, but as a start, but we'll see. I got a 9. I got an 11. I got a 9.
Yes.
I got a 10.
Delicious.
An 8. And a 16.
Okay. Whew. I was gonna say, you're in for trouble. Um,
We'll protect
I'm
you.
I'm gonna need to re-roll that 8 just because I can't.
I'll tell you what.
Uh-huh.
Because this is tragically embarrassing.
I would like to. Could I offer a 14 with a chance to re-roll 3 dice? I give him one of my 14s.
And you have to re-roll.
I re-roll with 3.
That's up to Tyler.
I mean, I would take a 14. That would be nice.
You can still re-roll one of yours. I'm just asking the DM if he's allowing that to happen.
Yeah, I mean it's still keeping the rolls in play. So you'll take one of his 9s then. I think that's a fair trade, right? You Felix gets rid of one of his 9s and replaces it with a 14.
That's fair.
Thank you, Thomas.
I think that's
I saw that developing and I was like, "Oh no."
Yes.
So I'm gonna roll 3d6 real quick, and hey, I got a 17.
Nice.
Okay.
So now you
17, 16, 14, 10, 9, 11. That's a lot better.
That's yeah. We can live with that.
I have.
You
I
just
have
traded
rolled,
a 14 for
rolled,
a 15.
No, I'm going to take that 8. I think that was my whole goal, was to have another normal stat.
Okay, he did give you a 9, so make sure that
he
you at
gave
least
me a 9.
He gave you a 9.
So I'll put it. I'll make one of my 14s a 9.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, go ahead and plug those in, Tyler, and we'll come back to you here in a minute.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Kate, tell us a little bit about your character.
So I am doing a. Hold on, my thing's loading. I'm doing a hill dwarf cleric. I'm going life domain, and her name is Clara Silverbone. She is of noble descent, but she's a caregiver. That's the one I chose there. She is a persuasive snob. Pretty much think the world revolves around me. But I'm using it for good, so it's okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
What background are you using, Kate?
Noble.
Noble. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Lovely. What do you imagine your noble dwarf coming from a specific area, or being I know you said he's kind of or she's kind of a snob, but is there any cultural or nobility titles that she brings to the table?
I hadn't quite gotten that far.
That's
It's
fine.
more like dwarves are going to be assigned their last names or their surnames based on their accomplishments. So, like silver to the bone, like snob to the core is kind of what I was going with. Where she may have served in like a military sense, like as a healer, just being true to her tribe and helping out her family and her kingdom where she has claim.
I love it. Sweet.
Yep.
And the party is going to be super grateful for a healer in the middle of a dungeon where healing potions are not purchasable, of course.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Would you do us the honor of rolling Miss Silverbone's stats, please?
You got it. All right. 14, 16, 13, 14, 18.
Dang.
Yeah. And a 13.
13. Okay.
All right.
Yep. You're not going to have a weak healer.
That's a really good one.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm very
I
happy.
Cool.
asked Tyler about how great my rolling is. My last character I made is not good normally.
His healer in my game is absolutely terrible.
Oh,
Nice.
well, you could be a little bird that's persuaded to take treats and red dresses.
I also play a little female Kinku in a different game I played with Kate.
Lovely. Okay, you can go ahead and plug those into your character, and we're going to move
Awesome.
on to player one. Alex, tell us about your character.
Alrighty. I'm a lot more nervous now that it's like. Alright. I'm playing a classic human paladin. I don't know. Anyway, his name's Aud. He was born in a small, nameless village on the outskirts of a small, unknown fiefdom. Unknown because as a child he got lost and was picked up by some fae who couldn't figure out where he was from or where he was going. So he ended up being raised in this small hidden woodland village of the fae until too frequent interactions with like traveling peddlers and travelers in general. A rumor started to spread that the fae in the area had abducted a child. After so many of these rumors go by, overzealous knight and their party decided to come investigate. And when they saw a strange homeless child running around with sprites and pixies, they were like, the fae have gone too far, and immediately set out to rescue him. After capturing him and bringing him back to their order, they discovered, I guess they really didn't discover it, they just tamed him, quote unquote. He held a lot of resentment at that point after spending the first half of his life with the fae. Now he's been taken from his home, and but as the years went by, he began to mature and realized that they didn't mean anything. They didn't mean ill will. It was all they thought they were doing the right thing, but totally off track.
Delightful.
There is no track.
Yes.
There is no track. That's true. They don't have trains yet in D&D, so yeah. What am I talking about? Tracks? It's mine carts. But anyhow, so he spent the second half of his life amongst the knights and in their order, and because of that, during that, I should say, he found himself reading a lot of stories about heroes of old and all these daring adventures and stuff, and he kind of latched onto that. Because of it, ultimately, it came time that he decided to leave the order. That once he was old enough and trained, experienced enough to no longer be a squire, that he decided it was time to leave the order and set out on his own. And his life with the Fae taught him the beauty of nature and the natural world and everything. But his time with the knights taught him that there is value to civilization. That laws aren't necessarily all uptight and bad, but so it kind of. Yeah. So,
He's a good balance.
It's a good, yeah.
Awesome.
I
What?
totally.
It's lovely.
Butchered that.
No, it's perfect. What is? How do you spell your character's name first and foremost?
It is Aodh. Actually, it's actually pronounced Ed. It's Gaelic for the word fire. I have a whole story for that too. It's not his original name. It's a name he was gifted during his time with the Fae. But I couldn't really find anything about like actual words in Sylvan, so I was like, this sounds good. It means fire in Gaelic. I'll say it means fire in Sylvan and just say it. No one will know the difference. Well,
Yep.
Except for now. Now you.
Unless you say it live on stream. Yep.
Yeah. Now the world knows, and my deceit is ruined.
Yes. What
These
is?
aren't the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. What is Ode's?
Hold up, we can't say droid, so
Yeah.
let's cut that back.
These aren't the kobolds you're looking for.
Yes.
Perfect.
There you go.
Constructs. There you go.
There you go. What's Ode's background?
Oh, yes. he is a. I went with the Knight of the Order. I tweaked it just slightly because
Mhm.
the Knight of the Order, they had like a list of just like sample orders, so I just kind of made one up.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with the idea of where'd it go? I called them the Knights of the Free Legion. It was a sort of like Knights Guild rather than just a pure religious Knights Order, where the idea is they pick up these, kind of inspired by whatever what were they called in Dragon Age? I can't remember. Where they would like pick up orphans or
Oh,
just
yeah.
certain people,
Yeah.
anyone that they found worthy of joining their ranks, and with the idea of being that these were people they thought could do great things and would send them out, like almost like mercenaries to help keep the peace, kind of like the UN or something, NATO.
It's like it's like
Now that
the
I think about it,
it's like good guy
Yeah.
Mandalorians. Yeah. Awesome.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Awesome. Would you do us the honor then of rolling Ode's stats?
6. Okay, let's see the damage. Okay, it says rolling the dice. Oh, there it goes. All right, so that's an 11.
11.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a 5.
A 5.
A 5. You poor thing.
Oh, there we go. That's a 15.
15. Not too bad.
That's a 16. All right.
All right.
More. That's an 11.
Okay. Last one.
Taking its time rolling.
Yeah.
Roll 20's been slow recently.
Mm.
I'm sure they don't have the infrastructure for Corona.
Yeah. Yeah, they
And
did
that
at
appears
least
to
a
be a
1
9.
overhaul earlier.
A 9.
Yes,
Okay. Would you like to re-roll that 5?
absolutely.
Okay.
All right, here comes a 3. 14.
14. Okay. There you go. Lovely. So I think really everybody is in a pretty similar spot except for our healer who killed it.
Hey.
So wow, that's awesome. Sweet. Congratulations. That's what we wanted. We wanted a nice, powerful party with room for a few flaws. So that's what happened.
The great part about that too is that we're setting the stage that this isn't a job. This isn't so there are going to be weeks that if you're watching, that maybe I'm not here or Tyler's not here or somebody's not here because of real life engagement. So what's great about a heavy party like that is that with only 3 people or 4 people showing up at times, that we can really carry ourselves still.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so everybody, Alex can start working those stats into his character. So we're gonna roll back to the beginning. All the stats are done now, and I'll tell everyone that's watching that for next session, now that we know all the characters, during intermission and preview and all that, we are going to have a slideshow going where you're going to be able to see like the character's art and the stats for the character and what level they are and what class and all that. So you'll be able to see these details in a fuller aspect, starting with the true session 1 later. Okay. Now that took care of all the number crunching. Let's do some fun stuff. Let's roll some equipment and let's talk about motivation. So let's go back to Tom for this one. Tom, tell us the thing that you wanted so desperately to tell us before. Tell us the motivation for your character coming and volunteering to take part in this dungeon, and we'll get to the idea or the concept around dungeon here in a minute. But go ahead and tell us why your character's here, and then I'm going to have you roll some dice.
Yeah, I am, as I said, I will go back to magically obsessed. So my character is obsessed with becoming a hero, obsessed with his aunts and uncles and everybody else who are already known adventurers in the land. So my motivation is I am obsessed with the ideas of magic, though you have seen precious little of it at times. You have had to tell a few white lies about your level of skill to get this far.
Plays perfectly into your magic obsessed background.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of getting a legal right to going into a dungeon to loot it, a dungeon that potentially houses magical artifacts, or as you've been told with no uncertainty houses magical artifacts, is too tempting an offer to pass up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have an equipment chart
Nice.
that I have prepared. There are all sorts of things on this equipment chart, including magic items and dead squirrels. So this is meant to be that thing that makes your character even more unique, and that might come in handy sometime in this dungeon. I'm not too worried about giving you guys something right now that's gonna bite me down the road because I picked the list, right? But one never knows. So I need you to roll me a d20.
D20. Hey,
Yes.
that's a 3.
A 3. Oh, so what I should notate is that only a 1 and a 20 are actually good or bad and good, right? Everything else is a mixture in between. So if you roll a 1, you're getting something bad. If you roll a 20, you're getting something good. Everything else is random. So you rolled a 3.
I rolled way too well on my character to get anything good out of this chart.
Exactly. So your recently deceased aunt gave you a beautiful silver dagger with a ruby in its pommel. The item is magical, but grants no modifier bonuses. So it's not a +1 anything, but it counts as magical for bypassing resistances, right?
Okay.
And
Wonderful.
it's silver if that ever comes up into play. Okay. Easy enough, right? So let's go on to Erica. Tell us about your motivation.
Yeah, so she is very much a dutiful person. There's always a purpose. So with the do-gooder, I guess motivation, you genuinely care for the people of this or any realm. When you heard the call for aid, you knew you had the skill and thus felt burdened to respond. You only hope to prove your worth.
Perfect. Sweet. So one of the kind of conceptions for this group is that they are not necessarily tied to the kingdom in which this dungeon will take place. They can if they want to, but most of these motivations set them outside of this world. And the do-gooder is the motivation that's really just here, like you just said, to because you felt like it was something that you could help with, which is the most noble of causes, right? Not there for personal gain, but for the betterment of others. So very happy. It's surprising to me, to be honest. So I gave everyone like 15 different motivations to choose from, and it's surprising to me that the do-gooder got picked, because I was like, well, that's the lawful good, whatever option. Nobody likes that, and here we are. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Would you roll me a d20, please?
Yeah.
And we'll re-roll any repeats. So if you roll a 3, re-roll it.
Okay. 15.
15. Awesome. Ooh, okay. As luck would have it, you have just come into possession of a potion of healing. Perfect timing. So you can add that to your sheet. Lovely. All right, Tyler, tell us about your motivation.
Oh, hi. My motivation is, let me pull the motivation list back up because I tagged it. My motivation is historian. Says you've always had an interest in the past more so than the present. When the call went out for those of skill and knowledge, you jumped at the chance to offer your assistance.
Lovely. Makes perfect sense for a linguist, who is someone whose power comes from the past, anyways, to be a historian. And a dungeon is only history, right?
Absolutely.
So works wonderfully. Would you mind rolling me a d20?
I got a 5.
5. Okay. Ooh, you got a good one. All of them are good. let me rephrase that. All of them are good. You got a magic item. So I am pulling up. Roll me another d20 while I pull up. Now this is not going to be like you don't have any chance of rolling something that's going to be crazy, right? It is not meant to be that sort of magic item.
An 8.
Okay, perfect. Bear with me here. So while I'm pulling this up, I'll tell everyone that some of the resources that we're using. So I've already mentioned Roll20 is one of the resources that we're using. I am also using, and we are using for this campaign, D&D Beyond. And so anytime we build characters, for the most part, we're going to be using D&D Beyond to reference that. And I have several tabs of it open here so that we're going to be playing as close to the rules with all of this as we possibly can. Okay, so I am pulling up the Xanathar's Guide to Everything and specific chart on that, which we'll talk about here in a second. And you rolled an 8 on that chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, awesome. So you have a cloak of many fashions.
Yeah.
I don't know it. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I love that.
So let me read the flavor text for you. While wearing this cloak, you can use a bonus action to change the style, color, and apparent quality of the garment. The cloak's weight doesn't change, regardless of its appearance. The cloak can't be anything but a cloak, although it can duplicate the appearance of other magical cloaks. It doesn't gain magical properties. Okay. So a cloak that can look like any cloak.
You'll be pretty.
Yes.
Oh, I will.
Yes. Awesome. Lovely.
Cool.
You have your first magic item. How does it feel?
I'm dancing.
Kate, tell us about your motivation.
I am a caregiver, so I have skills with healing, and I just want to go out and help others that need my aid, and I know it'll make them like me. So that's kind of the main thing, is to get everyone out alive.
Yeah, it's a lot like the do-gooder in that you have a certain set of skills, and those skills involve keeping people alive. And when a call goes out that says, hey, we need adventurers to take part in a dangerous expedition into a crypt, it's hard knowing your skill set and knowing that they're going to need it to say no, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the caregiver is perfect for a cleric. And so, and also, right, other things that these motivations do is informs what personality you're coming to the table with, right? So we know already with the caregiver personality that, I mean, you can be a hard-nosed, tough love caregiver, but you're still a caregiver, right? So you're going to approach things in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
Would you roll me a d20, please?
Sure. 17.
17. Okay. So you are going to roll on a different table. So let me pull that table up real quick, like.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to pull up a new. You know what? I shouldn't need a new tab. I say this, and then somebody's going to roll on the same tab again. There are multiple chances to roll on the same table because I did put like certain tables twice on the sheet. So just because somebody got the magic item doesn't mean that you won't as well. But I need a d20 from you if you could.
Another d20?
Yep.
Okay, 16.
16. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. So you stumbled across a very odd item at some point in your past. Something that you quite haven't ascertained the purpose of or how it even came to be. This is an old divination card that bears your likeness.
I like it.
So someone at some point, maybe this is a tarot card, maybe this is something else, but someone at some point in history used your likeness and you happen to stumble across the card, and as a cleric, you know that there's precious few coincidences and much more is by the will of the gods or those that serve them, right?
Oh, for sure.
So that might come in handy, you never know, but it's an oddity to be sure.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Add that to your equipment list, and we'll get to Alex. Alex, tell us about your motivation.
All right. I felt like the do-gooder felt best. Felt felt best. Felt appropriate. I'm playing a character whose goal at the moment is to. It's not his ultimate goal, but at the moment is to become experienced, to be like the heroes that he read about during his time with the knights. So the soon as the call goes out for heroes, we come save people. He's going to be all over it. Like, this is my chance. This is exactly what I've just spent the last 10 years training for. Is let's do this, and he's going to excitedly rush to it with little preparation and little knowledge of what he's getting in.
Awesome. Yeah, that's lovely. It's just like in other shows I'm thinking of where they might have two of the same class, but you see different interpretations of that class. In the same way, we have two of the same motivations, but we're seeing drastically different approaches to how that motivation applies to your character. And again, it just confounds me that two people chose do-gooder, but that's great.
Really,
That's
basically 3 with Kate.
Yeah, really, like the cleric version.
Yeah.
Yes, it's yeah.
The
Uh,
crazy part is I almost played like a lawful evil rogue in this.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be funny.
Yes, that'd have
I-
been lovely. Yep. So for those watching, we could go ahead and say that there were no restrictions placed on these characters for race, class, or anything like that, other than not picking from the Eberron setting because that feels a lot like Eberron. But they could pick a lot of different things. They had no ties to anything, no purpose, and once they built that, then they got to pick from a huge selection of motivations. So these are characters that they wanted to play, not something that I handed to them and said, here, this would be great for the stream. Okay. Alex, would you roll me a d20, please?
Oh, yeah. All right. 19.
19. Okay, so interesting. Um, so 19 is a good one. 19 is you have 200 gold on your person. You can determine how you got that, but that is a sizable chunk of change for a first level person, even though he's a paladin. Um, so do you have?
I'll tell you exactly how I got it.
Oh yes, do tell.
On this, I amassed this gold in the month time that I left the order and arrived at this dungeon. Just doing good, just doing anything I could that even seemed remotely heroic along the way. And I have no idea how much 200 gold is actually worth.
Yes. Yes. He's never spent a gold piece in his life, but he's told it's very valuable.
He's like, this is money.
Shiny.
I don't have a real solid basis for the value of currency, as being raised by the Fae and then living so long as a squire, not really having money and having, food prepared for you daily. You go to the mess hall in the morning and they go, oh, here's some food, here's some bread and dried meat, which, by the way, my character, even though he's raised by the Fae, doesn't care much for meat at all. But for some reason, he has a big fondness for dried meat, to the point that he actually ate himself sick the first time he tried it because it was so good.
Jerky.
Perfect. Lovely. I love it. Okay, so that worked out really well. I'm really happy with that table and what you guys rolled on it. I'm disappointed nobody rolled a 1 and got the dead squirrels, but hey, there's always next time.
My favorite though is
You
the
would've
tarot
liked
card.
it.
That's such a cool
Ooh.
idea.
Do we get to know?
That
Do we
is
get to know what
fun.
the 20 was though?
Yes. So the 20 is a +1 weapon of your choice.
Okay, yeah.
So if you that's the only one that's like this 100% help your character, right? And you would have had to tell me how you got that. So and if we were starting anywhere but at the beginning of the dungeon, Alex could have perhaps purchased a sweet weapon for his character, but instead he has to figure out how much is gold worth in a dungeon.
Well, no, see, he would not buy a sweet weapon because, like I said,
Yeah,
he
he does that.
he is rushing into this ill-prepared.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay, so we have fully imagined our characters now. So now the last thing that we're going to do, and we are running perfectly on time, the last thing that we are going to do is we're going to determine how you guys came here. Now, you guys had full leeway on creating your backstories, but I asked you to leave the last month open. And that allows us to build in some flavor on creating some group dynamics. there's plenty of great campaigns that start with we all meet in a tavern, or a version of that. But I thought it would be interesting if I said perhaps two of you met somewhere and two of you met somewhere else and one of you is a loner or whatever, right? So we're gonna figure out if the group is coming to this expedition with their own kind of cliques already formed, or if you all happen to just meet in a tavern. So what I need from everyone is a D10 roll and a D6 roll. And give me those results separately, and we'll start with Alex. Just tell me your D10 and then your D6.
All right. D10. 3.
Okay.
6. It's taking its time.
The suspense. It doth kill.
5.
I would try.
5.
Oh,
Okay.
Eric.
Lovely. Kate. A D10 and a D6.
I got a 6 on the D10
Uh-huh.
and a 4 on the D6.
Lovely. Tyler.
I got a. Sorry, I scrolled. A 9 on the D10
Mhm.
and a 3 on the D6.
Perfect. Erica.
7 on the D10, 3 on the D6.
Okay. And Thomas.
I also just like Alex, I have a 3 on the D10 and a 5 on the D6.
Perfect. Okay. Wow. Okay. Awesome. That's lovely. So yes, there are these I put through my own little code here, and this tells me based on your roles who was with whom and for how long. So the first group is Alex and Tom, who rolled exactly the same. So you are group 1. So your group met a total of your 2 D6 rolls, so 10 days ago, at a wayside inn in one of the surrounding kingdoms. After you found out that the other was going to the same place, you tentatively agreed to throw your stake in with this other individual. Nothing has made you nervous so far, and you've agreed to split your loot evenly. Whatever that means within the scope of the game is completely reasonable to you. But you guys are coming to this kind of with 10 days of already knowing each other. And as you, there were plenty of people that volunteered, so you were still chosen from a list of individuals for this dungeon. But you managed to both make it in, and so you have kind of a pact already formed. So player 1 and player 5. The next group, oddly enough, not quite as closely bonded, but Kate and Erica with a 6 and a 7. You guys are close enough to be group number 2. So, and once, I'll say this while I'm thinking about it, but after next week, I'm going to have all your player or your character names up on the screen for me to see, and not just your real names. So we'll be referring to that more fully then. But Kate and Erica, your group met a total of 7 days ago, right here in this kingdom. So you were responding to the call, you were in the kingdom, and though you came to the kingdom for slightly different reasons, you kind of caught the eye of those that are hiring for this expedition. And they said, you two are the people that we want as kind of our, well, what they called it was guiding flames for this group. So your job is to make sure that no unwarranted desecration takes place, and that the most sacred of relics are made safe. For this, you will both get a bonus stipend of 100 gold each upon completion of the endeavor. So when you are introduced to the rest of the group, you are called the Guiding Flame. You are not necessarily put in charge, but it's kind of like having the king's liaison in this group. You're supposed to be their eyes and ears and make sure everything goes well.
That's great for two do-gooders too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes perfect, right?
We're gonna need a logo.
Yes,
The
you are.
Guiding Flames.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. So the third group is the lone, lonely, lonesome, and that's the fellow that rolled a 9. Tyler, um, you. This is perfect. You're a late addition. Um, Someone was chosen instead of you, but they never showed, and you were the alternate, right? Um, so you had to leave in a hurry, and you forgot a few things. But you feel like this just might be your lucky day. So what I need you to do is I want you to pick 3 items from your character sheet and wave goodbye to them because you left in a hurry and you maybe forgot some things that might be important later. Um,
Good job,
but
Bilbo. You didn't even have lunch. You
yes,
did just
exactly
right.
right. These could, I don't care how mundane they are. In fact, some of them should be mundane because they're those things that weren't in the forefront of your mind. Um, and then, but in to kind of trade for this, you feel like this is your lucky day, and indeed, perhaps it is. You start with inspiration, and you can make 1 free reroll throughout this dungeon. So, like having the lucky feat, only it's way worse.
One time. One time. One lucky.
one lucky feat perk. Um, so, uh,
So my character forgot his knife. He forgot his ink and he forgot his quill, but he remembered his parchment, so he has a little bit of a problem.
uh-huh.
You can make paper birds.
Yes. You should have rolled. It would have been Chef's Kiss. There is a roll on the table that was. You were making a delivery for someone of parchment and ink, and they never showed, so you're carrying around parchment and ink. Um,
Okay.
but oh well. Uh,
Oh well.
fate wasn't quite in your favor. Um, but that's perfect. So you have all been chosen, and we're going to find out. We've been playing now for about an hour, and this is a little bit early for our typical stream, but because this is a perfect segue into the beginning of the campaign, we're going to go ahead and take uh, let's say we're going to take a 15-minute intermission right now, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the introduction. So hang tight, guys, and we'll be back at 10:15 Central, 11:15 Eastern Time. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. We are back. We are refreshed, and we are ready to stick our noses where noses don't belong. We have made, for those of you who might have just joined us, we welcome everyone into the chat. We have made our characters. We are ready to go. We have figured out what unique equipment we are starting with. We have figured out our motivations. We have figured out how the group is somewhat came together. And now we are going to learn the premise of this dungeon, and we are going to start sliding in. So, I've got my notes up here, and I am ready to go. I'm going to give you all a very, very brief history lesson, some things that your characters would know about this area, and something that you guys don't know necessarily right now, and something that the viewers don't know as well. So, brief history lesson. This adventure takes place in the kingdom known as Coldforge, where several generations ago war and political upheaval broke loose the royal bloodline, and a new, well-received king was placed on the throne. His name was Adrastus. King Adrastus was a fine enough ruler, but had a soft spot for legend and legacy, as many kings do. One of his last decrees was that a large burial mound be constructed for him and his family, well guarded and glorious to behold. The work commenced but was not yet completed when he died, leaving the finishing touches to his son Lucian. Lucian finished the task assigned to him, but had troubles brewing of his own. One of his father's knights revolted against the royals and led a nearly successful campaign to take the throne. At the city's gates, Lucian himself battled the knight in mounted combat, and through a mixture of spellcraft and swordsmanship was able to fell them. With their champion slain, the rest of the uprising was quelled. Lucian still sits on the throne and rules to this day. In the present day, the reason for this adventure, the reason for you all being called, is that a strange, acidic liquid sludge has begun to bubble to the surface in the region of Coldforge, near the late King Adrastus's burial mound. It has now permeated the countryside, destroying crops and injuring all who interact with it. A collection of troops and wizards has been sent to the area to investigate further, but the king fears for the integrity of his family's remains and the relics that are also housed within the crypt. As the sludge continues to seep out of the ground, the king has made a hasty decision to clear the tomb, right? So this is in times of war or in times of natural calamity, you clear the art museum and you put them place safe, right? The issue now becomes that it was never meant to be meddled with. And the crypt, the tomb, is both sealed and guarded from encroachment. Thus, a call has gone out to those brave enough to combat the crypt, smart enough to outwit its defenses, and quick enough to stay ahead of the encroaching acid. None now live that knew the details of the tomb's construction, and Lucian himself is an old man whose mind is nearly gone. Precious little information about the layout or what may reside within is to be found. It's the perfect job for a young set of adventurers eager to make their mark. Of course, after this, they have hopes, or while you're dealing with this, they have hopes of rooting out the cause of this acid to begin with. But they need somebody to go in and deal with preserving the relics, and other people are going to be trying to figure this out. So, you have answered this call, and it's something that, even though it's put out by the king, the residents of the kingdom of Coldforge strongly agree with. They don't want, they would greatly appreciate someone coming in and making safe the relics of their history. So as you all approach, there are Coldforge knights bearing the crest of the blue flame, and they guard a dug tunnel that leads to the crypt's entrance. It was never meant to be entered, or not easily. So the entrance itself had been buried, but they've taken the steps to go ahead and do the digging that leads to that initial entrance. you all know that they are led by an elven mage known as Raiden. And you were told by the guard captains that you spoke with before, that you were the ones chosen, the 5 of you, and that you need to proceed to the crypt and speak to Raiden once you get there. So the floor is yours.
I Cornelius Emberkeg at your service.
You're the group that they selected then to delve in and recover what can be found.
Oh yes. You've probably heard of my father, Bangram Emberkeg.
No, I can't say that I have. Is that of import to the task at hand?
No, but it's import to the entire realm. But that's neither here nor there. We have these other guys, especially my wonderful new friend, Ode.
Well, yes. Quite. Right. What I need is to give you a few things, and to kind of expediently relay the situation to you as best I can. And if there's anything else that I can do, you let me know, right? So he procures a crate that was sitting behind him, and he hands it to one of you. And there are 5 sacks within this crate. You each take a sack, and if you look inside, there are a collection of goodies. This is your gift bag, so to speak. So you each get 3 potions of healing, 2 potions of acid resistance, and a single token of teleportation each. And as you are looking through this gift bag, he says, right, we have hopes that you don't need these acid potions. We have hopes that you will stay ahead of the incoming sludge as best as you can, but preparing for calamity, we thought it best to arm you as best we knew how. The potions of healing are for any guardians that you might have to dispense of while in there. You are welcome to remove that which impedes you from your quest. Pay no mind to the guardians' essence or their purpose. It is at this point bunk. And then the token of teleportation is because you are working your way further and further and further into a crypt with acid following at your heels. So I don't really see a lot of... It's not going to be a good call to expect you to work your way backwards through the sludge. So once you get to the end, the main thing that I need you to collect at the very end is the bones of our late king. Once you have collected the bones and what other relics you can acquire, simply use your token of teleportation and it will expedite you with haste out. Right here, actually, we'll be waiting. Point of order. Any gold or gems, any common coin that you find within the crypt, right, you are welcome to. Right, those are not relics of the realm, and consider them a large part of your reward for successfully removing this. In addition, barring you requesting something of holy nature like the bones of our king, you may procure an item of your choice from this crypt to keep for yourself. All other items you will, of course, hand over to us upon exiting the crypt, but you may take a token as our appreciation, and your names will go down in the annals as what heroes, do-gooders, guardians of the kingdom, and those relics will be passed on to worthy guardians. We feel good about that. And finally, as another token of our appreciation, there is a note, a favor from King Lucian, allowing exclusive benefits throughout the kingdom upon your exit. You will want for nothing um, if you do this thing for us. Is
Wonderful.
there anything else that I can assist you with, or any questions that I might be able to answer?
You can show my big friends the way.
Right. Big friends, small friends alike will be traveling through this dug tunnel here. Um, do be careful with the walls and the ceiling. It has not been properly reinforced, but it should deposit you close to the entrance to this crypt. From there, you're on your own. We have managed to break the seal on the initial door, so it should be easy enough to set foot inside. From there, though, we have not made entrance. He says, "Well," kind of stands looking at you all, and there's a cluster of knights and guards kind of standing around, and actually quite a few nobles have made the ride out here to the burial mound. So you've got a little bit of a crowd, and perhaps surveying this crowd and seeing that there needs to be an air of like commencement. He says he turns to you all with outstretched hands, and he says, "May all the gods find favor in your task, even those that are lost." And you
I
are
will.
good.
I think we're starting to head down the hall.
Lovely. I do not need a marching order for this, as you're just crawling your way through this hole. You all probably haven't seen any of the sludge unless you felt like you needed to, or you felt like your character would have investigated that. No, Alex says, "Hell no."
Nope. He was too busy rushing, and now he's in this entire whole speech part. He was just standing there stiff as a board, having no idea what he's doing, because now this seemed like an opportunity to be a hero, and now it's really hero time. And he's like, "Uh-oh, can I do this?"
Is the tunnel
And
pretty well lit?
The first little bit is, but they haven't lit torches, and it's really like a hands and knees sort of a tunnel. So it's not very you don't look kick-ass crawling on your hands and knees through the starting section of this, right?
I'm waving goodbye to the royals and the higher end people from the town.
Absolutely, and all of them, several of them, like wave farewell as well, and kind of whisper to each other, though it's hard to make out what they're saying.
Scattering copper coins to the kids.
As I sort of it's my turn to enter the tunnel, I kind of slap my face and psych myself up a bit, and then sort of dive in, probably running into whoever was in front of me.
Nice.
Thank you.
So
Kind of give it the old "let's do this," and then
yes,
make a mess.
that's as it should be with level 1 characters. A couple things that become apparent as you make your way into even this tunnel. The hilltop, or the burial mound, was covered in a garden, a forest with large trees. And even larger trees are around this area. So there are a lot of roots kind of reaching down in here, and it's very much like entering a rabbit burrow or warren. And those of you with a bent towards nature feel surprisingly more at home in this early stages than you thought you would entering a dungeon. But as you push your way through, let's see, any other things that you would notice? It very much is a rough shod tunnel, quickly dug. Um, and as you're squirming your way through the final bit of moist earth and rock, you spill out into an empty chamber. Um, who has light? Who has dark vision? Or are we casting light on something?
I can cast light on something. I have that as a cantrip.
Lovely.
I'm not even sure I have a torch.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I do not have dark vision, and I do not have light.
Oh, I do. Okay.
And the human doesn't have dark vision either.
All right. Tom, you're in the lead. Sorry, what's your character's first name?
My character's first name is Cornelius.
All right. So, Cornelius, do you have a helm or a sword that you want to lead with, and I can cast light on it, and we can all see what's going on better?
I don't know if I want to lead, but my father has always said to take the first footstep on it any adventure. So, sure. And I put out my Aunt Larissa's dagger.
I cast light, cantrip.
Lovely.
This mustache is getting weird.
Yes. So you have a little bit of light. Who would like to take point? Since your wizard has kind of said, perhaps not I.
I can go forward.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll go behind since I have dark vision,
Perfect.
Mhm.
So the
but
guiding
I don't want to
flame.
be in front.
Exactly. The guiding flame is both guiding and producing flame. So it's perfect. So the two of you and then the rest behind spill into an empty chamber. In the dim light, you see an oddly shaped room made from carved stone. Roots from many trees above spill down into the interior, creating the illusion of a grove in winter. What light there is in this room appears to be coming from a narrow hallway just ahead, where recessed azure runes emit a dull glow, like carved into the rock. It's like dim light in here, basically.
So how big is this room?
Absolutely. So, what we are going to do is we are going to kick all of us and all of our viewers over to a map, and we'll alternate between these maps. But I'm going to go ahead and drop you. Now, I'm going to say this as a word of warning for all of you who are watching and for our players. We are using Roll20, and we are using Roll20's dynamic lighting and things like that. But as we all know with that, the dynamic lighting doesn't always work perfectly, and it's not supposed to show you sometimes gets shown. So just bear with it and play it as if it mattered, or as if it was real. So I'm going to move our players to the screen, the Roll20 screen, and then I'm going to move our viewing audience to the screen right here. Boom. Okay. So players, can you see anything in this room right now?
No.
No.
Perfect. So
Nope.
make sure that you zoom out all the way. Once I think it's gonna be really easy to get there later on. So Alex, let's start with you. We know that you are not.
Once I zoom out, Zach, I do see map.
You see map. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see all of them?
No.
But you can see the light.
I see room 1.
Lovely. Okay. So it is. We'll, first thing that I know. So all of you guys, for now, I've created a placeholder token for you that has your initial on it, and has your player name underneath. So that should be pretty easy to make out. And so what I'm going to do now, for those watching at home, is I'm going to assign their vision based on their characters having dark vision or torches or whatnot. So Alex, you have neither a torch nor
I have a
night
torch.
vision. Oh, would you like to light it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and I believe a torch emits bright light to 20 foot radius. Is that right?
Yes, and then an additional dim light for a 20.
Yes. Perfect. So I'm going to kick that over, and now see if this works. But your character should. Perfect. Your character should be able to see Alex, see the entirety of that room.
Alrighty.
And
I can too now.
lovely. Yep, because he is shedding light. Tom, your character is a dwarf, so you have dark
Yes,
vision.
dark vision.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you night vision, and it's 60 foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should be, and then you have light cast on you, right?
Yeah.
Lovely. So 20 is continue on later, but it is moving. Not necessarily important that much for this game session, but we'll go ahead and make sure that all this is turned on and working. So you can emit bright light for 20 feet and dim light for another 20 feet. And then we'll save that. Erica,
Mm-hmm.
your character should be
Yes,
able to see in dark vision, right?
Yep, 60 feet.
60 feet dark vision. Lovely. And is not, you are not carrying a torch and you do not have light cast on you, right?
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Just 60 feet and save. Kate, your character, you are, help me remember, what is your race again?
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
Dwarf, that's what I thought. Cool. So dark vision. And do you have any light source on you? Nope, because you cast it on your wizard friend.
Yeah.
Perfect. And last but not least, Tyler, you're the only one that we haven't got to yet. So, what can your character see?
Currently, I can see just the room we're in.
Okay.
I can see about 15 feet away from me.
Perfect. Does your character have dark vision?
No.
Okay, perfect. And you do not have, do you have light or a torch on you?
Nope.
Okay. So for now, you're going to be dependent upon everyone else to light up for you, which is not a problem. Especially in this small quarter. So this is the room that you guys see at the moment. And I'll just make sure that chat here. Yep, chat should be able to see it as well. So chat is going to be able to see anything that I see on my screen. So they don't get to see your mouse movements, and if you pull up stuff, they're not going to see all of that, but they'll see what I'm seeing on mine.
I'm still not seeing the entire room when I zoom in.
Okay, you might refresh and let me know if that doesn't change, if that doesn't solve it.
Right. It does not, but it's okay.
Okay, perfect.
We can figure that out.
We will walk down, and this is a small room anyway, so hopefully it'll adjust itself as we get going. So yeah, so this is the area that you see. Like I said, down the hallway straight ahead of you, you just came from the northern area, which is where the door was that you came through, and this whole area is lit with a low light glow from runes scattered throughout the stone. And this is going to be the normal for all of us moving forward. This is a dungeon crawl, so where you step might matter, and it is up to you to explore the space however you want to explore the space.
So I would knowing from my great aunt. My great aunt has told me that there is nothing better than a collapsible 10-foot pole, and I will pull out a 10-foot pole and start tapping like a blind man on the floor.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Ooh, perception check. Great.
Lovely. A 0. Awesome.
I would look back at our party and go, I have known, I've done this a million times. Just wait for me, and I'm just slapping the stick around.
Yes. A 0 for the first roll of the campaign bodes
Yeah.
well.
Very well.
Yes. So
About
as
right
you're
for my rolling.
tapping this stick around, testing the stone in your immediate proximity, and it feels very solid underneath. But you do notice the one thing that you would notice, irregardless, is that as you're tapping this, it's kicking up glowing dust,
Oh no.
blue glowing dust.
I would say this isn't normal.
I would bend over and just examine some of the dust.
Absolutely.
Is it magical?
It appears that way, but you can make an Arcana check if you would like.
Okay. Uh, 24.
24. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and make this a practice moving forward. When you roll anything, except initiative, except initiative, if you're just rolling for yourself, go ahead and say the number like you just did. That way the viewers at home don't have to look at the tiny little box in roll 20. So with a 24, absolutely. You pick it up, and in fact, it is some sort of magical component. And as you sprinkle some into the air around you and get a better look, you notice a couple things. First off, this blue glowing dust is very similar to the runes that you see on the walls. And as you look up into the ceiling, you can tell that these roots have punched through the stone ceiling and shattered or crumbled rock. And you ascertain with a 24 that these were once glyphs of warding or protection or something that have been partially disrupted by this root invasion.
Okay. So I would explain that it looks like that these were wards at one point, but they are not wards anymore.
Yeah.
All right, well, do you guys want to press on?
Yeah, is there a door in this room? Oh, there is. That has the glowing rune on.
You see a lot of walls with glowing runes, and the door behind you, but you don't immediately see another door here in this area. Nothing that allows for an obvious way in.
So the door behind us, that's to our north or our south?
That's to your north. Yep, that's the one you just came through that the tunnel led to. Just to your north there.
Okay.
I guess I'll start looking for some door or way to proceed.
Okay. Looking at the walls or the floors, or and in which area would you like to search?
I'll go south, so like you're directly
Perfect.
below us. Yeah.
Okay. And you're specifically looking for like secret doors and things?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and make, as you're investigating the walls to the south, following that passageway there, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. My map just got way more exposed.
Okay,
Because
as he moved, yeah, it's
yeah.
gonna reveal more. Um, and like I said, it's so I'll tell you how it's how for viewers at home and for you guys, just so you kind of understand the limitations of Roll20. Roll20 assumes that you can see everything within the square that you are in. So if your
Okay.
square is partially eclipsed by a wall, it doesn't recognize it. It doesn't recognize it. It allows you to be on both sides of the wall at once. So if you can see past through a wall, it's because a character moved through a space that contained more than just open ground.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a 10 on investigation.
Okay. So as you're looking through here, you haven't found it yet, but you're getting the sense from this place that there is certainly a secret door to be found. It's just a matter of taking some more time. So
Right.
you are welcome to roll again, and if anyone wants to assist you in this roll, they are welcome to assist as well.
I can assist with my fancy pole here that I'm doing
Yeah.
such a great job of. Check.
Awesome. So Erica, you can
Yeah.
roll. Idle Mist can roll with advantage on this next check.
Sure. 19.
19. Okay, cool. So you do indeed notice. Let me see. I think I need to go to the dynamic lighting. Yep, perfect. You notice two secret doors, one on either side of the tunnel, or of the passage at the far southern end.
Hmm.
One on either side.
Okay.
And what's more, you can kind of feel the seams with your hand, and with a 19, you manage to find their absolute outline, but you haven't found a way to open them.
Okay. Hey, I found some doors. I don't know if they're
Doors.
Can I
I
look them
told
over
you.
to see if they have words on them?
Mm-hmm. Roll an Arcana check for me, linguist.
I said, well, my father told me
16.
that if you rub the hinges, you can tell if any of the hinges are bad.
It's a 16.
Okay, perfect. Um, you indeed can tell that this door is warded with glyphs. And with a 16, would you like to have checked out the door on the right or the door on the left?
The door on the left.
Okay, so for ease of use, we'll just say the left is our left here.
Mhm.
So the door on the left, as you look at it with that 16 Arcana, you notice that indeed um, it is glyphed, and that there are glyphs of some sort of flame protection, to where if they are not, mm, if the right, it's like the runes on Moria's door, right? Like without without speaking the passphrase or hitting the right arcane code, this thing will probably emit some sort of flame.
Okay. Um, I would ask my dwarven friend. I'd say, how sturdy is that pole?
It's good. It's good. It's been passed down through the generations, and my great uncle had a twist lock installed, so it keeps it nice and. Oh, don't you doubt dwarven engineering.
I'd say stand about here and give that door a push.
You mean right here? And I walk up and I start.
Wait, be careful. Yeah, Erica.
I'm backing up for this, and also there's not much room for us to do that.
Absolutely. Um, so, as you push on this door, you know that it's magical, and you know that it has some sort of ward. So, what I need from you, wizard, is another Arcana roll, and this roll is not to determine what sort of wards, but to see if you might bypass these wards or if you're going to inadvertently activate them.
Could I assist him with
17.
this, knowing? Oh,
You could have, certainly, but with a 17, he seems to have figured it out. So with the right application of pressure and technique, he
Pull the
pushes.
monocle out of my pocket and I put it in the eye, and I take a real good look at it,
Yes.
and I'm like, I think I got it, and I step back and I smack away.
Perfect. The door, the hidden door, pushes backwards, and reveals an opening to a room beyond.
Nice. I think it's this way.
Yep. And you should be able to, if you move down there now, it should
Yep.
be able to be traversed through.
Yeah.
I don't have control of my token.
Let me fix that for you.
Before I step through the threshold, I will ask one of the more arcanely inclined, do you see anything else before we go through?
I mean, the door's open now.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'll step up to the door without going in there. Do I see more of that dust on the floor, or?
Absolutely. Um, Not only that, but you see that the room have uh, have taken on have come down even further into the room, and the roots glow a bit as well, like they have taken on blue essence themselves.
Okay. It's the same color of blue as the arcane sigils.
Absolutely.
Okay. I would relay that to the party,
Mhm.
and I would say I don't know how to counteract something like that.
And you can try now, Tom. I think you should be able to move your character. Yep, perfect. Is anyone else having trouble moving their character?
Nope.
My map doesn't work at all still. Like it just says loading the whole time.
The best thing that I can tell you with Roll20 is Roll20's a finicky browser. Are you in a? The first thing that I would ask is, what are you in? A Chrome browser, right? Firefox browser.
I have Internet Explorer.
Okay, it might be that. Um, Having said that, that is something. So either refresh a couple more times, and if nothing happens, we will troubleshoot this in between now and the
Yeah,
next
later.
session. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I got it.
we're on a very
I mean,
small
I'm
map.
watching it. I'm watching it on the Twitch, so I can see it at least. I just can't
Perfect.
interact.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. If you would like to move something, just tell me where you would like to move, and I'll bump it for you.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. As Tom and Erica and Tyler are investigating this, Kate and Alex, what are you just kind of standing back and letting them do their thing, or are you wanting to check out something further?
Since this is my first room and my first real adventure, I am exploring every inch of this room. I'm just kind of hands on everything, so do what you will with that. I'm
Lovely.
poking stuff, I'm looking at stuff really close, I'm walking all over the place willy-nilly because I'm a little naive to traps.
Okay.
Heroic tales don't talk much about pitfall traps and poison arrows. It's all about damsels in distress and slaying dragons. So
Yes. Okay. As a using your backstory a little bit, as someone who grew up with the Fae and in a forest, and as also knowing what I know that you're intending on continuing into the Oath of the Ancients, right?
mm-hmm.
you definitely have an, a decent understanding of nature. So, would you like to roll me an nature check while you're in this area?
Absolutely, yeah. Since for one, my character would be fascinated with the idea of the. How do I do this? Did that work?
That worked.
Cool.
Mhm.
14.
14. Okay. So as you are sniffing around, um, the roots definitely have a fascination to you. And as you look close, like these roots, even in this area, have tinges of this arcane blue light in them. And
Like in them, in them.
like it's like they've soaked it up into their,
Interesting.
yeah, like roots typically soak up water, and these have collected this magic along with it. Are you a, I don't know the best way to put this. Are you a magically curious individual, or are you more fascinated just by the roots themselves?
Um, Probably less magical curiosity because I don't think my character would be making the leap from nature to magic per se, but rather these are special roots,
Okay, cool.
if that
Awesome.
makes sense. If that
Yep.
answers your question.
Perfect. So it's definitely like, it is not that these roots are dusted in blue. It is that they are themselves now somewhat blue. Do with that what you will. Kate, anything that you would like to do in this area?
Um, I want to move forward like 5 to 10 paces, just so I can see what everyone's doing. I'm curious about what Alex is doing because he just, I see his naivety and I just want to see what he's going to do. It's very fascinating to me. And I feel like he's going to hurt himself. So I'm like on standby.
Okay, absolutely. So as you're on standby, kind of watching Alex a little bit, roll me a perception check.
Let me see if this works on here. Nice.
19. Okay. So one thing that you notice as Alex is, or as the paladin is interacting with these roots, and he seems to have a familiarity with 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 fauna. Um,
Mhm.
as he's interacting with them, you see that the roots, ever so slightly, are responding to his touch.
Okay.
So they're not like, it's not like like a boa constrictor where they're like winding themselves around him and he's allowing it to happen. It's just more that like, as he's interacting with one tendril, all the others just slowly
Gravitate towards him.
gravitate towards him at an
Yeah.
almost imperceptible level.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna whisper at him. You might want to back off. You don't know what that is. That doesn't seem right.
I'm gonna be like, well, duh. Tree roots aren't supposed to glow.
He said, but they're
No, I'm
moving.
not. But,
But they're moving.
You can kind of
do
see
I
it now
notice that
too.
they're moving?
Yeah, once he kind of tells
Okay.
you can see it too.
All right, now I'm just more curious because where I'm from, trees don't move, and I grew up in the woods. The wind blows and they move, but I mean, roots move, quote unquote, when they're growing down into the ground, but it's not like this.
I want to try to persuade him to come closer with the group.
Okay, so what we'll do there is, I hesitate in
Mm-hmm.
almost every instance to do party member on party member rolling, um,
Mm-hmm.
but you are welcome to try with your own words to convince the paladin
Okay.
to move over.
All right. Come on, we got to go through this door. They got it open. Don't you want to see where the glowing is coming from? Like, this could answer more questions. Come on.
This way to adventure.
Oh, this way to adventure. I am
Riches,
still
like
curious about the routes. Like I'm like keeping my eye on them as I walk away because I'm like there's something there, you know. Like I'm picking something up, if that makes sense. Like this is like one, roots aren't supposed to do that,
hmm
and two, is this foreshadowing things to come? You know, like what else has
Mm-hmm.
been affected in the area?
Exactly.
That's my. I'm kind of curious about. Okay, they're moving, but they're moving incredibly slowly. Like that
I think going
slow moving
deeper is
roots.
the only way to know.
Yeah, I like. I'm like we should definitely keep an eye out for other things like this.
Well, there's
Like
Definitely.
whatever
more
this.
in there's more out in the next room too.
Yeah, because whatever this glow powder stuff is, it's definitely affecting stuff.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned that, um, the rest of you are now seeing something somewhat the same, though none of you have stepped into the other room. With the talk, with your cleric calling out about the roots moving, they do move. It's almost like being underwater and watching like seaweed kind of
Mm.
drift through. Right? It's just as if not by their own current around them, they shift in place.
I put this way to adventure, and then I walk through the room,
Okay,
walk
Okay.
through the door.
absolutely.
I'll follow.
I'm following.
Okay, go ahead and move into the space wherever you'd like. Kate, you said you were moving, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna flank behind Alex's character just to make sure he actually goes.
Well, if you're and I yell back, sort of cupping my hand, and I say, "Well, if you're still interested in the roots, by the time we get out of this place, I'll introduce you to my good friend Corp, friend of squirrels, and he is a druid of high
Lovely. Uh, so as you enter, and Tom and Erica, you are some of the first to enter. Um, these overtly blue roots in here. Um, hang on 1 second. I have a 4-year-old that just woke up,
Aw.
so
Yeah.
bear with me.
Mhm.
Hey, so what's going on? Okay.
This is what we talked about. Those real life, and real life is always going to be more important than the game for this.
Mhm.
Okay, we're good. Um, okay, so as you're walking into this room, the roots in here start to respond a little bit more aggressively. And from two corners, you see specifically two different root clusters um, act as if animated, or as if moving with a mind of their own. They draw themselves, peeling themselves off the walls, and they start to lash out like whips towards Erica and Tom. And I need
Alright.
some initiative rolls.
Mhm.
Oh no!
Is Tom in there? Okay, I couldn't see if Tom was in there.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom is currently in there. Yeah. And if roll 20 responds better next time, we'll make our lives a whole lot easier. So if you guys would roll initiative into roll 20, I will take those notes. Actually, I can probably set up the initiative tracker real quick.
Yeah.
Descending. Okay. Boom. So what you need to do is click on your character token, and then click roll initiative, and it will add you to the initiative order.
Yeah. And you hit descending after.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, for some reason it's. Oh, there I am.
There it goes.
Perfect. And then I know Kate cannot roll, right? Or she can't see on the map, but you can roll. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you
She
roll
rolled
that
a
natural
nat
20?
20.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy enough, right? So
I roll good in real life too.
lovely. Okay,
Not me.
so that's easy enough for us for right now. So let's get some music going for a little bit of a combat. And boop boop. Okay. Um, Kate, you are looking into this room. You are following in close behind, and just as you peer into the room, you see two root clusters animate violently and start lashing out at your blood hunter and your wizard. What do you want to do?
Um, Give me just a sec to look at my prepared spells. Alright, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith.
Okay.
I'm trying to see, is that how many creature? One creature.
Mhm.
Let me see. So is anyone actively being attacked as of yet?
Nobody has taken damage, but you know that Erica and Tom are both being threatened in their immediate area.
I'm gonna cast on Erica.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
And
Plus 2 AC.
perfect. That is a bonus action, so you still have your movement and your standard action if you want to do anything else.
I'm gonna stay at the doorway.
Okay. Perfect.
And I'm just gonna hang back for now and just keep an eye out. Wait for the next thing to happen.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
So that was Kate. Now, Alex, your paladin has an opportunity to act.
All right. Do I see what's going on? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I'm kind of in the back of the pack there.
Yep, you are in the back of the pack, but and actually I can't see your token right now, so hopefully it's somewhere that we can fix. But anyhow, you could definitely see what's going on. The roots are shedding enough light, and Tom is in there with his lit up dagger, so there's plenty to see.
All right. I will run up to, not obviously dash action, but for dramatic effect, run up.
Mm-hmm.
In between whatever party member is in there and the threat.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of draw my sword and take the dodge action for now.
Perfect.
Since I don't really know what's going on, this could just be a threatening display, not necessarily an actual attack. So
absolutely.
His token is directly under Kate's token.
Okay.
Get off of me.
Well, it's a crowded hallway.
I can see.
You said he was you were dogging him to make sure he followed him. Maybe you're underneath him.
I think maybe I'm the one on top for sure.
Okay, so you move into the room as Roll20 responds. We'll take care of that. But we know where you are in the room, and you are taking the defensive action. Erica, it is your turn.
All right, I will draw my rapier and I'll ready an attack if this these roots attack me.
So that's perfect. After that, it is Tom's turn.
I am going to fumble my dagger and I'm going to drop it on the ground. And I'm going to pull a light crossbow that I have chained to my hip. And I am going to try to shoot the one over by Erica with my crossbow.
Okay. Fire away. Ooh.
And that is a crit.
Very, very nice. So not only, so that looks like that's 9 points of damage. So as you pull out your crossbow and fire it, you hit some sort of nerve or something within this root cluster, and you shear off the lower half of this root from the upper half, and it falls to the ground. And as it does so, like any immediate threat from that area is gone.
Nice.
It is now, though, the root's turn.
Oh no.
Now 1. Now 1.
Double
Um,
snare is awful fun.
Yes. So let's see what it does. It's gonna roll some dice. Rolled a 17, so we might kill a wizard today.
No.
Um,
Oh.
so let's see what happens. So, for those watching at home, and because I don't necessarily care if my players know, these are very, 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 very similar to animated bushes. So
Nice.
you're not. Let's see. So you are going to take 4 points of damage.
Ouch. And I am breathing heavy at this point. I am bloodied.
Yes.
For the people at home, because you cannot see my sheet, I am now less than half of my health.
Dang. Okay. The awakened shrub does a decent amount of damage. Cool. Awesome. All right. That was the shrub's turn. Now, Erica, you had a ready to attack, but I assume it was with melee weapon. Is that right?
Yeah, rapier.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
you didn't have an opportunity to do that because he dropped the one next to you, but you now know that they are at least somewhat aggressive.
Yes.
Tyler, it is your turn.
So I'm going to come right here against this wall.
Okay.
And would you say that's a good angle for my 15-foot cone?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I am going to cast Wave of Protection.
Okay.
Wave of Protection says as you speak a word, a cone of protection blasts force around your ally. Roll 1d4 minus 1 and add that total to the AC of any alloys of your choosing within the wave's area.
It lasts until the start of his next turn, or for your one hit, right?
So you all have +2 to AC.
Yep. That applies to Alex, Erica, and Tom, but not to Tyler or Kate. Okay. Back up to the top of the round. Kate.
All right. I'm going to cast Healing Word on Thomas.
Okay.
On Cornelius.
Cornelius Embercake. And I'm assuming that
it's
heals me
1d4
up no
plus
matter
4.
what.
Alright, let me see.
Max.
Excellent. So plus 8.
That is more. +8 is more health than I have normally, because my entire hit point pool is 7.
Yes. The arthritis in your bones
It's healed.
fades away for a few
Good.
moments, and you
Your
feel a good
pre-existing
20 years
conditions
longer.
no longer affect your health care.
Yes.
The scar. The scar I got from dueling with my uncle is gone.
Yep. Yes.
But you still only have 3 eyes, so.
Okay. Well done, Kate. Keeping our wizard alive. Alex, it is your turn.
Alright, these are clearly hostile now to me, and normally I would be a little averse to just the wanton destruction of nature, but this is clearly not nature. So I must drop my torch, take my longsword in 2 hands, and take a whack at this thing.
Lovely. Go for it.
I don't know how to do a 2-handed whack. And D&D.
Well.
That's what he said.
Uh-huh.
I'm not used to working with a longsword, dang it.
So go ahead and just make a regular roll, and we'll figure out the damage on the back end.
Yeah, I gotta do my attack roll. What am I doing? Not my attack roll. This one?
Yep.
That work?
Yeah, so there's the two-handed.
Perfect. So there you go, Alex. So if you look in the chat, two-handed plus, so you did 5 damage, assuming that a 16 hits, which it absolutely does. So, so we're learning a little bit about your character that we didn't know, right? Your character, this paladin, wields a longsword. So tell us a little bit about the how you imagine this character looking in a fight, or how he what martial styles he's using in combat.
He's very much the trying to emulate the heroes from stories. I kind of imagined him being like since he's a neutral good paladin who doesn't like go around going, I'm a paladin. He's just sort of started taking this oath without realizing he's taking an oath and going down this path. I kind of imagine him as like the wandering swordsman type, um, or just more like the wandering adventurer who's taken on a quest without realizing he's taking on a quest.
Awesome. So perfect. You cut into this thing and you shear off several pieces, sections of root, but it still seems to have some life within it. You still have your movement. Are you happy staying where you are, or do you want to shift somewhere?
Um, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I'll fall back here in the hopes that I eat its attack of opportunity.
Yes. So
Let the wizard fall back.
yes. Okay. Very good. Let's go ahead and see what happens. It will definitely strike out at you. And here we go. So yes, it will hit. And you take 2 points of damage. As this, you feel one of these tendrils lash out at you and rake across the back of your neck, spilling blood. Okay. But the wizard now has an option to leave when it gets to his turn. Erica, it is your turn.
All right, I will step in the spot that he left, and with the rapier in hand, I will take lunge at the vines.
Lovely.
Where is it? There it is. That's a 9.
A 9 hits these things.
Okay, cool.
They are, after all, roots affixed to the ceiling.
Fair.
Yes.
8 points of piercing damage.
Absolutely. So as you step forward and pierce up again, you seem to hit a vein or a nerve or something within these roots. And as you stab into it, the whole thing goes limp, and you and it goes slack, and you're out of initiative.
All right.
And the room is lacking the same blue glow that it had before, somewhat.
How do you like your first taste of adventure?
I feel like there's a jokes about roots or something in there, like this rooted in something, but I got nothing.
You could say we got to the root of the problem.
Yes.
I think these roots go deeper than we realize.
Yes, there you go.
Nice.
Yes, awesome.
Oh, do we all take psychic damage from that?
You should.
I'm secretly a scion. That's what it is. I'm an evil scion trying to sabotage the party.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna do.
Who does number 2 work for?
Yes. So, you are now in a small room kind of clustered together, and what you can notice right out the gate is that though you are looking through as if through a forest or a garden of roots, you can definitely make out a stairwell leading down close by you.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go down that stairway, or should we go look in the other room that we found a door to?
I vote we check the other room.
I heard that there might be acid following us, so we don't want to take too much time.
Good point.
I am open to whatever.
There's always the chance, like it's a tomb, it's a root structure, probably gonna lead to the same place. It's probably circumambulatory.
Oh, I don't know what that word means, but okay.
Sorry.
I'm good with words, and I don't know that word. I'm all for going down then. That was one less door we have to mess with.
Yes. It's very much up to you guys. So one of the things that you know is that the bones of this individual that you're looking for, this bygone king, are towards the end, and you know that as best that they could remember, there are 5 what they refer to as sections of this crypt. They couldn't give you any details of that, but they said that the bones are almost certainly in one of the back sections.
That's quite the crypt.
Yeah.
He was quite the king, they would tell you.
I hope that just to put this out on the internet, if I ever pass, I hope you guys just throw me somewhere in a cardboard box. I
I'll
say
write
that
free kittens on it.
I say that as Cornelius Everking, but
I'm like, what's cardboard?
fair.
Corrugated paper.
Yes. Okay. So let's take you guys into the next section. And again, Roll20 has its limitations, so you guys probably see things that you're not meant to see. I'm a very trusting DM, and it's all fine. So, as you make your way down, I'm going to drop you. If you scroll south, eventually you will come upon where you. Let me know if it works for you.
Okay, I definitely pick up one of those routes and start checking it out as we're kind of going down the stairs,
Absolutely.
seeing if I can glean anything.
There
from
we
that.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Perfect. Go ahead, Alex. Make me. Go ahead and just make me. I'll let you roll an Arcana roll this time.
Oh boy.
Yes.
That's a 4.
Okay. So what you know from this root, you've already gleaned. What's able to be known about the essence of the root itself. The magic is the thing that you're having a hard time pinning down, and knowing exactly what or why this is happening. It's definitely a mystery, and it's definitely something that potentially could be solved, but not by you and not right now.
All right. Well, I will taste it.
Okay, great,
Yep.
awesome.
Why not? Just I know that you can take a root and you can kind of wring a little bit of moisture out of it, so that's what I'll do. I'll just kind of see what's going on there. See what kind of adverse effect that you were hoping to get to try.
And thus ends the story of the paladin.
Somebody
He
bring
was
the
nice
cardboard
while we
box.
knew him.
Yes.
Free kittens.
So I'm going to go ahead and transition off this map until we need it again but the chat has been able to see it for a minute now, so we'll let them see some of your smiling faces more so. So as you kind of take the end of this root and kind of gnaw on it and try to draw whatever moisture and essence is in it, roll me a wisdom save.
Do I click the number on the saving throw box over here?
I believe so, yes. Or on the...
Okay.
Yep,
Mhm.
perfect.
14.
14, okay. So you suffer no adverse effects from tasting this thing. You've probably ate a root before. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Probably in some fashion, whether it was I got sick as a kid and they were like, "Oh, let's grind up this root and it'll cure something," or on a dare, who knows.
So what you know as you bite into this thing is that it's not unpleasant, but you felt your mind kind of be like walls were going up in it, and you were having harder, like for a moment there, you felt locked out of your own body, but it kind of faded as quickly as it came. Like you couldn't lift as an example, like you your hand was up here by your mouth, right, eating a root, and you couldn't pull it away for just a moment, like you had no use of your limbs.
Interesting.
But it's gone now. I'm sure it was nothing.
I don't mention anything immediately to the party because it's just kind of this passing thing. Like I can recognize it enough to say, chewing glowing roots bad. Um, but I won't say much about the effects, but I will mention. I was like, something seems off about this in a bad way. We should probably be careful about what we put in our mouths. I guess worded better than that,
Yep.
but
Those are
but
some
like,
words
yeah, we
to
should
live by.
food and drink that we find down here. We should be careful with.
There you go. Awesome. So
This seems
as
to be tainted. Yeah.
as you shift your way down this stairwell, you find yourself after not too much time spilling out into a larger area. Um, this room, oddly enough, is already lit. There is a pair of torches that are set into the wall on either end of a pair of double doors that face you. And they seem to glow with a similar blue light, but this looks like flickering flame. The walls of these rooms are also covered in that runic glow, and you also notice an oddity behind you, or in the back of the room. There is this 4-foot diameter stone column that extends upward into the ceiling from the floor. You also notice that there are no roots in this area. You may have gone down far enough that they are less seldom. Transition that for the. Other than
Is
that,
the pillar just plain? No like designs or runes?
yeah, absolutely. You want to go sniff it out and kind of see what's going on there, maybe. Um, as you look around it, just initially, you don't see anything on it.
Okay.
You're welcome to roll an investigation check if this is an object of extreme curiosity for you.
Mm. Well, in a sense, would it look like a structural pillar?
No, it doesn't look like
Okay.
that. It looks out of place.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take a deeper look into that.
Okay, go ahead and make me either. I'll allow either an investigation or a perception check to notice different things, perhaps.
Sure. Um, I'll investigate.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay. With a 15, as you are sniffing around, you feel around and you notice that um, visible lever pillar.
Okay. Um,
And if you guys
yeah.
don't mind, I'm going to take a 2-minute bio break real quick here.
Sure.
And then we'll
Absolutely.
get right back into it. So hang tight. You guys have 2 minutes and we'll be right back.
Okay.
How would we like
All right, we're back at it. So, Erica, you just found a lever that is invisible on that pillar.
Yeah. Just looking at it, I will tell everyone what I found. Do you guys see anything that this might go to?
I'll look for any like magic runes or anything like that around the
Okay.
pole.
Roll me a perception check, and we'll see what you can find. Looking for magic stuff in particular.
Okay. That's not my best. A 14.
Okay, a 14. You don't notice any runes or anything along that pole. It looks pretty plain, actually. Made of stone. Looks like a singular piece of stone.
Okay.
Maybe it opens the doors ahead of us, or maybe this hurts us. Let's do Ada. Your adventure lies through the switch.
I think you should give him your pole, and everyone go up against the wall away from the lever as far as we
Pole.
can.
Are there more roots down here? Or,
Not in this room.
rootless?
Not in this room.
Okay, good. So I'm not gonna get yanked into a wall or anything.
No. No.
That you know of.
Really not. That's all done. It's not gonna come up again.
Ever.
Never.
So,
Pole has been handed over to whoever wants the pole. Though I am a pole master.
Well, it is your pole if you want to poke it.
yeah. Would you like the honors? Oh, yeah, I'll point it out where exactly it is.
I will take the monocle and I will check it out myself beforehand again.
And I will get out of the way.
Do I need an arcana or anything? I will roll an arcana to...
You're good, actually. So it's hard to know exactly what you're interacting with because of it being invisible, and also because you're trying to whack at it with a pole and not use your digits. Just I'm gonna decide for you. You hit the thing. I'm not gonna even have you roll. All of you hear a rumbling sound, and I need you all to make dexterity saves.
Of course.
I have a bad feeling about it.
Oh no. 12 for Aelin.
Okay.
Oh.
11.
Okay, Kate.
Felix is dead.
No, surely not. So if
You know what I'm gonna do?
Yes.
I'm gonna use my free reroll.
Ooh.
Really? You feel that?
On a natural 1 at 10 hit points, I think so.
Okay. 2. Lovely. Well, it's a good thing it doesn't really matter anyways, because
I rolled a 2.
Yes. That's the best. So as you hit this lever and you bring down your pole and you hit the lever and it indeed like chunks down, right? Before snapping back into place, you hear it kind of fall and then snap back. The whole of the room rotates. You all feel it rotate, and those of you with a 12 or less DC saving throw fall prone as the floor shifts underneath. Tyler, you did not go into the other room.
Yeah, I pulled myself over.
Okay. Any Yep. you have successfully shifted their room.
That is amazing.
Well, I guess we know what that does now.
Do we feel like? Do I know that the whole room shifted?
You felt like the whole it's like being in a cart, right? You can feel of the thing you're in,
Acceleration.
but you don't know exactly how much it moved, right?
But I'm like sometimes when you're on like a roller coaster or some sort of merry-go-round or something, you feel stationary and the world is moving. Do I feel that I moved, or do I know? I mean,
You feel certain that the
the room has spun.
the rune itself spun. Yes.
Should I push it again? And I'll hover right above it.
I don't know if we could all survive another turn.
No, why don't we see what's through this door and then we'll
Yeah.
do it again.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay. Oh, and I didn't. Okay, I'm going to do this again for people on Twitch because I had the wrong map. This is what I get for not having 3 monitors. So hang tight, hang tight. And Twitch, this is for your benefit. So the room was like this, and then it rumbled like so. So obviously the players and the Twitch stream can see more than what the characters see, but cool. Okay, now we're back to it. Sorry.
All right. I guess I'll go up to the doors.
Okay.
And is there any does it seem like it can just be opened?
Yeah, I mean, so you look and you don't notice any natural lock. There are runes on the doors, so take that for what it is. But these are not secret, and they are not. There's no hinge or lock or handle.
Sure. Yeah.
Ember Keg. You figured out the last one. You want to help me with this one?
Sure. Well, I will head up to the door, and I will.
And I'm gonna reach over on your shoulder, and I'm just gonna say a little something. Does anybody speak Draconic?
Nope.
I think I do.
You're all you're gonna hear is just me saying, "Don't screw this up." But that's me giving you guidance.
Okay, so you can roll with advantage and with an extra D4.
Don't speak Draconic. I lied. It's my other character I made for this. So, what am I rolling, GM?
You need to roll an Arcana check, and you can roll with advantage and with a D4. Perfect. What's your total there?
21.
21. You are certain that there are no arcane wards on this door, and that it is
Okay.
not locked.
And I said, and I look over at Idle Mist, and I say, maybe you want to head first? Last time I almost got attacked by the plant.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And I will bow, and I will let her know that the door is not arcanically.
Mhm.
Lovely.
Alright. I'll just pull.
Push it open. Absolutely.
Okay.
Labeled.
Whatever it is, you try the other 3 times before
Yeah.
you realize.
Well, you said there was no handle, so
Absolutely.
it's a push.
Yep.
Alright.
So you push open this door, and the space that you open the door into is completely black.
Okay.
No, you with dark vision can see, but no light extends into here, and there's no runes in this area.
Mhm.
Dark vision, can tell that you are entering a large room, in the center of which is a tree.
The tree.
It
Hide it from our paladin.
It glows blue and calls him.
Yes. It looks dead. The tree looks entirely dead, and it is not the roots of a tree; it is the tree itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and so it is like here.
Okay.
Where is the person with the light close by, or
Tom has the light currently.
And I have walked close by.
okay?
As you step in, Tom, like your light doesn't, even though it's magical, your light does not project light in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ooh.
That's foreboding.
Is the floor made of like earth or dirt, or is it like stone?
Uh,
Okay. And is the tree just kind of like just in the stone?
Yeah,
Then?
like it's been either the root cluster lies underneath the stone and it's been built around it, or it doesn't have a root cluster at all and it's just been kind of set in the center.
Gotcha.
So I can't see anything.
No, and here you are blind as a bat.
So I'm just backing out because I don't want to be in that darkness.
I'd like to get a closer look at the tree, see if there's any irregularities.
Okay. Make a as you get closer, make a nature check for me.
Sure. That's an 8.
An 8. Not that you can tell. It looks so. The only thing you can tell with an 8 is that it is not like dried out and fossil.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a tree that had been laying yesterday,
Okay.
but it just doesn't have any leaves on it, and so it's somewhat dead.
Gotcha. Feel like
should I
this.
stick?
Yeah.
Should I
You go.
stick the tip of my dagger in?
Maybe not. Usually stabbing things willy-nilly doesn't end well.
Well, okay then. I guess I'm wrong, and I'll put it back in my pocket.
It just seems like this is preserved in some way. It seems. I don't know. I can't really say, but whatever that is, it may fight back.
Is there anything else in this room?
You can make a perception check.
Oh, this is great. This is how I got a 0.
Speak of the devil.
I got another 0.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
That takes massive talent.
Yes.
Natural 1 club, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is I've now taken 2 perception rolls this campaign. Both are zeros.
Yeah.
Great.
No, there's nothing in this room that you can make out now. Now, it's quite obvious to you with dark vision that there really is nothing obvious in this room.
I'm staring at my dagger that was lit up, and then I was just embarrassed and told to put my dagger away. So I'm just.
Somebody else has a torch. Now I knew the light didn't go in there. When somebody takes the torch in there, what happens?
Alex, you wanna give that a whirl?
All right, I'm just now standing up because the spinning room kind of did a number on me. Moving earth is a new thing for me. I don't handle carts too well either, so Also, I was kind of on the outer edge of the room there, which means there are greater accelerating forces on me because of the greater distance traveled from.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess I'll move up here. I'll realize that it's kind of that I can't see in there, and I'll just kind of step into the darkness
Your
and
torch
see what.
your torch immediately sheds no light, and you are plunged in black.
But the
All right.
torch is okay.
In that case, I will use my divine sense to see if I can sense anything in the room.
Okay, so for those of you at home and for those players who aren't sure, do you have the text for Divine Sense there in front of you, Alex?
I tried to link it, but it didn't.
Oh, yeah, it just says Divine Sense.
The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor. Powerful good rings to you like heavenly music. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turns, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type of any beings who you presence, but not its identity. Within the same radius, you can detect the presence of any object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with a hallow spell.
Okay, perfect. So you do not detect any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet of you, except for your linguist friend, who gives off a celestial vibe.
What about the good and evil part?
Yep. So you
and desecrated hallowed stuff.
Yes, you do notate an area of consecration, and though you can't see the tree, you feel like that it's in the center of this room somewhere that you've just entered.
Consecration or desecration?
Consecration.
Oh, neat. I can't really do anything with that.
But you know it's done. What it is.
I know there's something consecrated there, but I'm like, trying to figure out if I can, like, I don't have holy water or anything. I was like, maybe I can interact with this somehow. I guess I don't know it's a tree. I just know that there's something consecrated there. I'll grope around in the dark towards the consecrated thing, and hopefully I don't break my nose or something.
I'll guide him ahead towards the tree since I can see.
Yes. Yeah, she guides you forward, Paladin.
She doesn't say anything, so it just scares the crap out of
me. Exactly.
Yeah.
You would not say anything. Yep.
Just jumps out.
Your hands brush against bark. You can feel what is certainly a tree, and it is giving off, as you're now right there with it. This is the consecrated item, or the consecrated area. This tree.
I have no idea what to do now. No, my character literally says that out loud. He's made it this far. Now he's like, I've done all I can. I don't know what I'm doing. But I do audibly let people know that this is some kind of consecrated item. It appears to be a tree, even though half the party already knew that.
Tom didn't. All right, Tyler didn't.
The consecrated. You're gonna have to explain to me what that is, holy man.
Let me check the player's handbook. It should tell me in there, right? What consecrated.
You look up the hallowed spell, Alex, and I'll let you know bits and pieces of that if you want. You can just kind of determine what your character might know.
Alright, let's see.
And while he's looking for that, I'll go ahead and remind those watching that We're gonna have this stream tied up by 12:30, so in about 35 minutes, we'll probably conclude the adventure part of this, the delve part of this, in about 15-20 minutes, and then have some parting words for fine folk.
And just to rehash while he's looking that up, we're going to be doing this every other Monday.
Yep. Every other Monday night at 9. We got a primetime slot.
For California.
Yes. What do you know, Paladin?
It's good. Like it has a good feeling, if that makes sense. Like,
And I look over ashamed at sort of our over at Idleman, and I'm like, maybe she's right. Maybe I shouldn't have stuck it with the dagger.
Even if it was just the tip.
holy, that's the word I'm looking for. Holy-ish.
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, that's at least, I would imagine, good for the Tomb of the King.
you would know.
Presuming.
Paladin, you would know. It should have some restorative properties for those of or non-fiendish alignment. That's the better way of saying that. Interact with it.
Just knowing, just Tyler knowing the hallowed spell. Can I go in there?
You can absolutely go in. You just can't see anything once you're in there.
Okay, because I thought the hallowed spell prevented celestials, elementals, phase fiends, and undead from entering.
So what? It's not an area. It's the tree itself.
Oh, okay.
So not exactly the spell that. So even if the linguist knows a little bit about spell use, all right. It's not exactly the hallowed spell, but it acts as if under similar effects of the hallowed spell.
Okay, so it's probably the hallowed spell in darkness then.
So since we have been told that this tree is good by our paladin, I will take a little bit of my my flask out and just put a little bit down by the root of Ember Keg brandy, and I will head out of the room.
Absolutely. You pour it down along the roots, and about this brandy, or is it just simple brandy?
It's just family brandy.
Okay. You pour it out. The rest, some of those of you pour it, then step out of the room, and no effect seems to take place.
Can for somebody in there that can see, is there anything else besides this tree in there?
Not that I see. Just kind of casual look around.
I don't see anything ever.
You're welcome to. So Kate and Erica. Kate, you haven't said yet, and I don't want to put you up to anything that you don't want to do. But you are welcome to interact with the space, or you're welcome to keep yourself removed as well. But you both have dark vision, and you're welcome to make perception checks yourself.
Yeah, I'd like to go over to the room, just to the doorway, and do a perception.
Okay.
And I'll do it from within the room since I'm here.
Perfect.
Perception.
How do
16.
I make it specific like that?
Are you using D&D Beyond for your character sheet?
Yeah.
So I probably need to help you
Link it.
link it. Yes, we'll do that after the stream. But you.
All right, no worries.
Yep.
What's your perception bonus, Kate?
I get +4.
Not that your solid 5 was going to be.
I know. Well, it takes me to a 9.
Okay. So neither of you notice anything else in the room. Um, I'll say Idle Mist, you can tell as you're surveying that now that there are um, multiple light sources in this room not giving off light, and as I feel like it's appropriate as one from the shadow fell. You kind of, as you gaze at these light sources that are not projecting light, you see little like almost imperceptible whiffs or tendrils going off of them and to the tree
Okay.
of darkness.
Gotcha. As in they're emanating from the tree.
Like the tree is interacting with those light sources in some way, even though you can't see the light currently.
Okay. I'll just kind of say to Clara, who's nearby, it seems like the lights are, I don't know, being like drawn into the tree, like it's
Like it's
consuming
absorbing
it.
it?
Yeah.
Hmm. Alright, I'm gonna go closer to look at the tree closer since I have dark vision.
Absolutely. Um,
I you said that out loud, right?
Yeah.
I heard that too.
I would like to come back into the room then,
okay.
and I am going to take a diamond out of my, and I'm gonna put it up next to my dagger that has the light spell on it, and I'm gonna see if I can like reflect the light all around the room and see if
Like
she
a
can
disco ball.
like a disco ball. Yeah, so I take my diamond
Nice.
and I take the dagger and I put it up next to the diamond and see if it can project light around in different aspects.
Mm-hmm. So as you again step into the room, the light from your dagger is completely eradicated. There's no light, and you hold the diamond to it, and uh, only Idle Mist can see this, being from the shadow plane and seeing things in darkness that others cannot. But she notices that even through the diamond, um, this the tree is connecting to that light source.
Mm-hmm.
And as a point of clarification, Tom, your light you don't have to recast. As you like stepped out of the room, your light is there again, and then when you walk back in, it's gone. So it's not dispelling the light from your item.
Just absorbing it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say that it's doing the same to that, just kind of taking
Gotcha.
it away.
Does it seem to be the light, like the tree as it's taking the light? Does it seem to be affecting it?
No, not
like. Does the tree change? Does anything change?
No, not necessarily. It just it and yeah, there's no perceptible difference to the tree currently.
I heard fire is a great way to shed light and stop a tree from doing anything weird.
We really
Okay.
shouldn't be destroying.
Yeah,
Never mind.
We're not here to desecrate the tomb. We're here to.
All you goody
Sorry.
two-shoes won't take a step out of the comfort zone, and I'll walk back out of the room.
I follow.
Yeah, I'll be the last one out.
Okay.
I stumble out blindly.
Oh, push them in the right way.
Well, I was actually going to ask somebody to lead me to the tree real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring you back in.
Okay. So I have an ability, and it doesn't. I mean, it normally only affects undead,
Mm-hmm.
but I can cause a bright light to shine out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
In a 20-foot radius,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the essence of the divine. So I'm just wondering if celestial light would affect something in here.
Okay. Is that a racial ability or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and read the. Is that something that you want to attempt? seems like that's what
Yeah.
you're actually attempting to do.
Yeah, hold on. It's in chat. But it just says, as a bonus action, you can cause bright light to shine out from you in a 20-foot radius. Then it just talks about how it affects undead. But it says to last till the end of your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to see if, I mean,
Yep.
he says it's hallowed. She's describing it almost absorbing this light, so I'm trying to put that celestial energy into the tree. I don't know.
Perfect. Those are the words I wanted to hear. Good job. So with an intention in your heart to supercharge this tree, so to speak, to pump it full of this light, and specifically using this essence of the divine ability. You step in. They lead you to the tree, and as you stretch out your hand to emit this light, it's like turning on a light switch. So it doesn't blast out from you, right? Like you don't light up the room with bright light around you in a radius, but as you cast it, the tree itself lights up. As if taking on all of that energy gave it energy of its own.
Nice.
As that happens, two things happen. The first thing is that it begins to sprout all of these blue leaves. So this pale dead tree has these magical leaves that fill its boughs and takes up a large section of the room. And then the second thing that happens is that as the room kind of comes alive and all of your light sources now work in the room as well, since the darkness is gone. As this tree kind of comes alive and illuminates the room, you see that there is a door that was perhaps hidden or secret that is now etched and outlined in the wall just to the north, in that same room.
Ooh.
Are the leaves a same or similar shade of blue to the dust we've been seeing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are there any leaves that are on the ground?
Any leaves on the ground? No, there are not.
Okay, because I don't really want to pluck one, but I sort of want one.
I glare at him. Don't do it.
I'm not plucking it. Oh, and of course, with that, I come back into the room because I see it now lit.
Mhm.
So now I've stormed in and out of the room multiple times, probably a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. Tyler, if you did not already have inspiration, I would give it to you again.
I already had it, but thank you though.
Yeah.
That was nice.
That was fancy. I have no way to light anything up without doing damage. So
I would go over and look at the door.
Absolutely.
Are there runes on the door?
This doesn't. I mean, you're starting to get the feel of what doors, what warding runes might look like, and what don't. What doesn't look like warding runes, and what looks more just like general aesthetic runes.
Mm-hmm.
Though I may still call for rolls from time to time, this door appears to not be warded in any way.
Okay.
I think that's all you, Felix. You're the one that brought light to the room. I think they are shining this light for you.
I guess I'll open the door.
Absolutely. Nothing bad happens.
Yay!
Yes. So this is a smaller room. It's like 10 by 15. And inside it, you can see several bags, like sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not hard to see. They're not like tied up. They're kind of just sitting there like this is a area. They are filled with seeds.
Offerings.
Are they, or are they seeds of that tree?
You can make, let's see, I will let you roll either, because you're asking two different types of questions. You can either roll an Arcana check or a Nature check, and those are going to give you different.
I will
information.
definitely roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
I don't. That there wasn't even a question there in my mind. That's an 18.
18.
Nice.
So you are certain as you look at these seeds, and they don't glow, but they kind of have a pale blue coloration to them. And there's uh, 5 bags of these seeds in this room. That these seeds are indeed magical.
Okay. How much would you say a bag weighs?
Probably like 10 pounds.
Okay, I will pick up a whole bag.
Okay.
So are these bags the size of a bread box? Are they the size of a potato sack?
More like a potato sack, yeah.
Oh. I don't know if I need that many then.
Okay.
How big are the little seeds, big seeds? Like, are we talking
Like think
pine cones,
smaller than that, like
Okay.
like small or acorns.
acorns? Okay, then I will take the equivalent of this glass full.
Okay. So let's say that is only a single pound.
A single pound, and it's maybe 20 seeds.
Probably maybe more like 30 or 40. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 40 is fine.
Yeah. And you're the only one that has gone into that room or knows anything about those yet, but you're welcome to share that information.
So I would just explain, hey guys, this looks like these are blue seeds. There's definitely magic in them, and I think they give me the strong feeling that they're like that tree, but I don't know that much about trees.
Well, it seems that blue magic is a common trend so far. That's not a bad assumption.
I would love to have some of these fancy seeds so I could show my my friend Corp, friend of squirrels, these wonderful seeds.
Absolutely. You're welcome to take as many as you'd like.
I would like to take about the same, right? A fistful of seeds.
Fistful.
I don't
okay.
want. Yeah, about the same. I'd probably take a half pound to a pound, just
Okay.
enough so I could tuck them away in my bag. But I wouldn't want to take away from this magical area where all these seeds are. They need to be able to replant these trees.
Well, and my thought is this tree seems quite divine. If we can find a way to maybe use this, is this tree being divine? Could this tree be the solution to stopping the acid?
True.
Yes. My thought is that when I get back to my family, I want to prove how awesome I am with blue trees.
Alex, you look like Tom. You can add if you're taking about a half pound, you can add 20 of these to your inventory.
Okay.
Alex, it looked like you were about to say something a second ago, so make sure you get that opportunity.
Yeah, I guess since this has all gone down, and I've stumbled out of the darkness and now into the light. I'll go check out the seeds. I'm more nature inclined than arcana inclined, so.
Mhm. You can roll a nature check, absolutely.
Nature. Natural 20.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is some of this information is potentially something that I should have told you before. So bear with me. The Kingdom of Cold Forge, the Knights of Cold Forge have as their emblem a blue, or an azure as they would call it, azure flame. That is kind of the iconography of the kingdom. What you know with a natural 20 is that this tree is akin to like the best thing that I could describe it as is like the king's tree in Middle Earth at Gondor, right? Like this tree is a symbol of royalty, in the kingdom, and it only grows in certain groves inside this kingdom. Um, the the tree as the icon of the kingdom was something that was in effect long before the change of kings with King Adrastus. So this is a hundreds of years old tradition, and this tree is considered certainly magical, but also sacred to the people of this kingdom.
All right. I got a couple questions then.
Fire away.
Okay, first, I'm a little concerned about. Well, I'll say that one for a second. Okay, first, you said this is a sacred tree. It's important to this kingdom, to the history of this kingdom. So would it be unreasonable to find these trees just in this kingdom out and about, or is it kind of like these would be cultivated and cared for in very specific places?
That second one, right? Very specific places.
Okay. Okay. Follow up to that then. There are you said there are how many bags of seeds here?
5 bags.
5 bags.
Minus
I'm
a
looking
pound
at
and a
this.
half.
This is a tomb that was intended to be sealed, and there's a lot of these here. I kind of have a bad feeling about these.
I'm just glad you're not eating them.
Not yet.
Well, I passed my roll, so I didn't need to resort to my last resort, which is tasting.
That should be somebody who loves nature's first resort.
I
We
guess
always
that
had
is
a
true.
rule growing up: if you don't know what it is, don't put it in your mouth.
I had the opposite.
I was raised on the curiosity of the Fae, so
Knowing what I know about cultures and civilizations, would I already know about this tree then?
You can make a. You know what? Let's see. So I kind of gave him some history knowledge for his nature roll, as kind of an added bonus with a nat 20. So if you want to roll a history check, you could maybe know some of this, but this isn't your natural kingdom.
19.
19, absolutely.
Do I know that these trees have to be cultivated to be like this one to be hallowed, or is every one of these seeds create a hallowed area?
What you know, and again, it's not firsthand knowledge; it's knowledge from books. But they are known to be areas of consecration around these trees as a natural effect.
So why didn't you think about, if you knew about this, why didn't you tell us this before?
It just came to my mind suddenly that I know
couldn't
something
see
about.
it. I just knew there was a tree here. I didn't know it was a blue tree.
Those trees.
Yes.
sometimes it takes a second to put 2 and 2 together. Like you got all the information, it's just
You also
drawing
couldn't
the lines between
see.
the dots.
I also
Yeah.
could not see.
Yes.
All right.
I don't. Yeah, I'll leave the room. I'm not gonna take any seeds with me because I feel like they were there for a reason. Like that's something.
Well,
there's
if
just
you-
like this. Go
If
ahead.
you feel that way, I will promise you that I will not take these seeds out of this dungeon. I will only use them down here if we feel it could be used to protect something important here culturally. Because I only want to protect the culture of this place.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want because that's kind of how my character rolls. It's like I can't control other people. I can't tell other people what to do, but I totally respect you doing that though. If that makes sense, I don't know. I've spoke too much.
That's great. This is your area of expertise, evidently. Magical trees.
Yeah, I just walked in and somehow knew everything there was to know about this, but I don't know. The whole setup just it feels off. It's like if these are so good, why are they sealed down here? I feel like either one, there's some crazy conspiracy that they're trying to hoard all the special magic trees somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the general vibe of stuff sealed in a tomb that's intended to be sealed permanently. Feels like that anything sealed down here probably isn't a good thing. If that makes
We'll find out. Anybody else want to mess with these seeds or with the room itself? If not, we'll probably say that this is a great spot to end tonight's session.
I'm just gonna take one seed.
One seed, perfect.
Just one.
You don't have to add a poundage to your inventory. It's insignificant enough to just be a seed. Okay. With that, and if you guys think of something, obviously we'll be popping right back here at the end of at this beginning of our next session. So if you think of something in between, you can definitely do that. But we're going to call it right there for tonight. And we'll see what you guys choose to do. I love that you pulled the lever right from the beginning and you started halfway through the dungeon or halfway through this section of the dungeon. That's delightful. And you can see the 10 in the room to know that you indeed did do that. No secret there. So yeah, we're going to pick back up there. Any closing thoughts that you guys want to have?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Thomas,
start.
do you want to remind everyone of stuff that we have going on? You're muted.
You muted, buddy.
Ooh.
I am muted. I thought it was going good. So I wanted to just say I think we covered a lot of it before in the beginning, but I think that if you were watching us, feel free to throw a follow. It helps us greatly. For anything about our channel or this or dungeon or Ascension, which is our world building stream, please reach out to us on Facebook. That's the Drifters Atlas at Facebook. We also have an Instagram at the same name and a Patreon for both Dungeon and Drifters Atlas. And our Patreon on Dungeon will have a lot of the same stuff you see here. Our Patreon on Drifters Atlas will have a lot of our world building stuff and NPCs and everything else. So give us a follow, give us a like, and keep informed of when we're coming on.
Perfect.
And I forgot because Thomas did. You guys mentioned at the beginning, and it's super important even to me. Jasper's game day is this weekend, and Jasper's is an amazing event. I got to meet Fenton this year. Fenway, sorry. I got to meet Fenway this year at Winter Fantasy. Very, very passionate young lady who is. She's just done amazing things in raising money for this this cause that is super important. So I wanted to just double up on what Thomas said about if you have the ability, donate to get Jasper's game day because it is.
Yeah, it's a free stream, and there's people, great DMs like who's there?
Satine Phoenix.
Satine Phoenix is DMing. We'll link all of the DMs that will be there in the show notes here on Facebook. But we have like Chris Perkins is running a 4-hour game, and multiple other AL members and everything else.
Yep.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep. Sean Merwin, BD Walters, lots of Amy Durza, lots of good DMs, lots of WotC personnel and Adventures League personnel. So it's a good thing. And it's a lot of games at all sorts of times. So
it's 60 hours of gaming. I think it starts Sunday and goes through Thursday, and it starts at noon every day Eastern time, and it ends I think at midnight every day Eastern time. So if you have time, even if you can't donate, share the links, share the feed, hop in and say hi. And then if you do have a couple bucks, maybe with some extra money from unemployment or from these government checks or anything else, you want to do something good, the best thing to do right now, or one of the great things to do right now, is to make sure those people that have that they're dealing with depression and things like that don't take it to the next.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. So tune in tomorrow to Drifter's Atlas World Building. And
Absolutely.
other than that, we'll see all of you fine folks in chat in a couple weeks.
Bye, everybody.